Some of these schemes started during the pandemic. The state has tried to minimize the hits, but scammers find new ways to target the millions of dollars in benefits issued each month. In many cases, they're placing card readers or skimming devices at your local grocery store or ATM to steal the data on a card and the dollars you're counting on to eat.
Well, I'm using a variety of flours here.
Baking requires patience, and for Missy, who identifies as she, it is therapeutic.
I haven't bought bread in years, or cookies. I make it all myself.
While the pink earrings and headband are part of her upbeat personality, they're not her entire story. For years, she's battled with a disability.
Anxiety, I have obsessive-compulsive disorder.
And last month, it came up during what should have been a simple trip to the grocery store.
I noticed on the screen for just the briefest amount of time, it said insufficient funds. And, I'm like, something's going wrong.
Missy was absolutely right. Someone tapped into the $1,100 she had saved in food benefits. For years, she stretched every penny of the $286 allotted to her each month as part of the state's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP.
My original goal, as my finances tighten, and they will, as the years go on, was let's live within the SNAP allotment without having to go to the food pantry.
Missy considered that money a safety net that gave her the ability to buy in bulk and save more dollars. So imagine how she felt when that money was suddenly gone. What is your reaction when I tell you you are not the only one?
Yeah, when you told me that, I just wanted to cry, because I feel terrible that other people are victims too.
She is one of thousands of SNAP recipients in Illinois whose benefits have been stolen over the course of years now. The problem so severe that legislators in Springfield required the state's Department of Human Services to keep better track of the problem this year. WGN Investigates found that in Illinois alone, from October 1st of last year to March 31st of this year, more than $4.5 million in benefits were stolen. How often is it happening?
Daily, to probably dozens, if not hundreds, of SNAP recipients.
It's a scheme we saw during the pandemic with unemployment benefits. The Greater Chicago Food Depository believes it continues today. In a statement to WGN, IDHS said it's analyzing theft data to locate skimmers, then replacing or unpinning the cards. But even that hasn't been enough to eliminate the problem.
The people that they're stealing from, they don't have the same protections as a bank customer, right? These are people who they have literally no recourse. Other than this temporary program, they have no recourse.
And here's why. States are only temporarily reissuing stolen benefits. So what you're telling me is that after September 30th, if someone has their benefits stolen, they're out of luck.
They're out of luck. Right now, at this point in time, there is nothing that can be done.
A federal farm bill could allocate more money to cover the stolen dollars, but they haven't done so yet, even while the thefts continue to add up. The week Missy filed her police report, so did 3 others in Oswego, and finding the culprit is never easy for local police.
It's not necessarily happening in your jurisdiction. It's not even necessarily happening in your state. A lot of times it's either another state or out of country, more often than not.
The state reissued Missy 2 months' worth of benefits, but that's all they'll do. As for the rest, she says it's hard to give up, knowing how long it took her to save it.
And when I think about what the groceries must have looked like on my food stamps, I try not to think about it long, because I can't take it.
And the Department of Human Services says it is launching a campaign to let people know that they can freeze and unfreeze their card each time they use it. They can also ban out-of-state transactions through the app. We have posted a link on WGNTV.com with information on how to do that. The next step in all of this would be changing the technology on these cards to prevent fraud, but that would be a huge project that could take time. I'm Lourdes Duarte, WGN Investigates.